Hey guys, so today I am doing my fall nail polish collection dupes video. This was like a week late, but I do finally have everything done. I took all of the fall collections, mainstream fall collections anyway, that came out this year, and I tried to find dupes for as many of the polishes that I could in my own collection, and then I'm comparing them in here for you guys today. So I think I have 21 comparisons altogether, so it's going to be a little bit of a longer video, so I'm going to get right into it. So the first polish that I wanted to compare was Combat Blutes from the China Glaze Fall Collection that came out this year. This is a really nice blue, like matte blue with shimmer. And I have a polish that is matte, and then I have two other shimmery polishes, and so I have them, you can kind of see how they perform with matte top coat. Combat Blutes dries matte on its own. It's really cool polish. I really like this one. The first one that I have to compare it to here is Aruba Blue. Aruba Blue is just a tiny bit lighter, but once you put a matte top coat on it, there really isn't a huge difference. You can see a little bit more like bigger sparkles in Aruba Blue than you can in Combat Blutes, but even matte and glossy, there's not a huge difference between these two. The other one that I have is Eve's from Zoya. This is one of their matte velvets, so this does dry matte on its own. This one is really close in color to Combat Blutes, but it also has just a little bit of like chunkier shimmer to it, which isn't as apparent when they're both matte, but with a glossy top coat, it stands out a bit more. And the other one that I have is Zoya's Estelle, which again is a little bit more chunkier glitter, and it also comes off, while it's similar in color, it comes off like almost, I don't know, shinier or brighter once the matte top coat is on it, and there's an even bigger difference with the glossy top coat. So overall, I think if you have Eve's or Aruba Blue, those are probably your best bets for dupes for Combat Blutes. I definitely don't think you need both of those or all three of those. Next, I have Mallory from the Zoya Urban Grunge collection. This is a nice kind of cobalt blue. It's not a Pacific Blue dupe. It's not even close, but it is very close to Zoya's Sia, which might have even come out this year, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure exactly what collection this came from, but I think it was the summer one coat blues. Very close. Mallory might just be like a touch darker, but not by much. Definitely don't need both. These are practically complete dupes. And then Mesmerized from Essie is also very close to these two as well. So next I have Finley, which is also from the Zoya Urban Grunge collection. This is one of their scattered holographics. Now, I knew that these three were not dupes of each other at all, but I did want to kind of show you the difference anyway. So Aurora is one of Zoya's purple holographics. This one is a lot warmer and a lot lighter than Finley, which almost comes off more of like a grape purple. And Peyton is a darker, almost plum scattered holographic, and I also feel like this doesn't have nearly as much of the holographic sparkle as the other two do. Now I'm looking down a lot. It's because I have the pictures right here so that I can describe them accurately. Okay, also from the Urban Grunge collection is Courtney, which is a darker kind of oxblood color. I found three that were almost identical to this one. The first one is another Zoya. This is Claire. This one is a little tiny bit more brown. And then I have Essie's Spiked with Style, which is one of the Gel Couture polishes. This is like an exact dupe for Courtney. And then China Glaze Wind Down for What is also very close. Okay, both of these next polishes are from fall collections this year. The first one is Tara from the Zoya Urban Grunge collection and Cherry Blossom from the OPI Washington DC collection. These are nearly identical. Cherry Blossom might be a tiny bit lighter, maybe a little bit warmer, but definitely don't need both of these. So both of these next ones are also from fall collections. So this is Make-A-Me Happy and We the Female from the OPI Washington DC collection. This one is from Essie. I don't know why I didn't say that. These two are also almost identical. We the Female almost feels a little bit, it's a little tiny bit lighter, and it feels like almost a little creamier when you look at it, where the Essie comes off like kind of jelly-ish, but definitely don't need both because they are so close. Okay, so next I have Go Geisha, also from the Essie fall collection for this year. And then I have Brittany from Zoya. This is one of the satins that came out like almost 2 years ago now. Now this one dries satin, so it's not gonna have the same finish on its own as the Essie will, but once you put a top coat on them, identical. Completely identical polishes. And if I had to pick, I would actually go for the satin because I like the finish that this dries naturally. It's not completely matte, and I think it looks super nice, especially in this color. So I think that the Zoya is a little bit more versatile than the Essie is. Okay, so these next four, I knew none of these were super close, but they are kind of similar, so I wanted to show you how they compare. So I have Pearl Jammin', which is this light blue with a gold shimmer. This is from the China Glaze Revel collection for this year. And then I have Dashboard Dreamer, which is from the Road Trip collection from China Glaze last spring. This one is considerably lighter, not quite as sheer, and the gold shimmer doesn't stand out as much. This one is a much, much lighter blue, and that gold shimmer doesn't stand out quite as much. Then I have I Love Nail Polish Valentina, which is very close in base color. This has a pink shimmer and not a gold shimmer, and it also doesn't get completely opaque on its own. So I wouldn't say that this is comparable either. And then I have OPI's Oh My Majesty from the Alice in Wonderland collection, or Alice Through the Looking Glass collection, sorry. The most recent one. This is a white, not a blue, so color-wise it doesn't match the other ones. It does have the same gold shimmer, but it's not quite as strong because the polish itself is a little bit more opaque. So definitely no dupes for Pearl Jammin'. I would pick it up for sure if you can find it anywhere. So next I have Kimono Over from the Essie Fall collection for this year. This is a darker purple. I compared this to Skating on Thin Iceland from OPI. This one is a little bit lighter and a little bit warmer, so not quite dupes there. But two more, Zoya's Lydia and OPI's Oh Susie Mio from the Venice collection are pretty much identical to this Essie. So if you have either one of these, you definitely don't need to pick this one up. So from the Orly Mulholland collection, I have Party in the Hills, which is this gold and black micro glitter. Then I have from the Giver collection from China Glaze, Boundary of Memory. Now the only difference that I found between these two is that there's a little bit more black glitter in the China Glaze, and it's in a slightly like gray tinted base. So it's like a really, really light black jelly. So this one does come off a little bit darker than the Orly, but I don't think that the difference is so much that you need both. Personally, I think I like the China Glaze better because that slightly tinted base makes it cover a lot easier. So from the China Glaze Fall collection, I have Fresh Princess. This is just a light baby pink. I have Zoya's Dot, which was not quite as pink, a little bit more muted, and the formula is not very good on this one. It's kind of runny and thin, difficult to work with. And then I also have Vovalicious from Ice Cream Nails, which is a lot closer, but also still a little bit more pale. I don't know if I just was off my game this day or what, but I really could not find like a decent dupe for this in my mainstream polishes. I looked, I thought I looked pretty well, and I didn't find anything that was exact. It just seems kind of hard to believe for me though that there isn't anything back here that matches this completely, but I didn't have a very easy time finding it if it does exist. Although those other two are pretty close, so I don't really think you need all three of them. But I would probably go for the China Glaze over the other two anyway. So I have two here that are both light gray. This is Now and Zen from the Essie Fall collection, and August from the Zoya Fall collection. These are not quite the same. August is a little bit more on the blue side, where Now and Zen is more of a true gray. And then I also have Cement the Deal from OPI, which is from the 50 Shades of Grey collection. This one also is a little bit more blue. So this Cement the Deal and Zoya August are almost exact dupes. You definitely don't need both of these. Now and Zen is a little bit more of a true gray, doesn't quite match the other two. So next I have Live in the Gray from the OPI Washington DC collection. This is nearly identical to two China Glaze here. I have Concrete Catwalk and Out Like a Light. This is from a holiday collection. This is from a collection a long time ago, but I think it's permanent, and then they are like re-promoting it in the Halloween collection this year. So these three are all pretty much identical. You definitely only need one of them. So next I have these brownie kind of taupey colors. I have Squeaker of the House from the OPI Washington DC collection. I compared these to You Don't Know Jacques and to China Glaze Foie Gras, and they're really not the same. Squeaker of the House is considerably more brown, where the other two lean a little bit. They have like a little splash of like purple in them. These two actually, You Don't Know Jacques and Foie Gras, are almost dupes of each other, but they don't quite match Squeaker of the House. So I have China Glaze Dope Taupe from their fall collection this year, and then I have Deborah Lippmann's She Wolf from their fall collection last year. These are both kind of like putty colors, but She Wolf is a little bit darker, and Dope Taupe actually compared to She Wolf leans much more gray. So no dupes there. But I guess they are close. If you already have the Deborah Lippmann, you don't really need the China Glaze. So I have here Yank My Doodle from the OPI Washington DC collection, and then I have Ginger Bells, which is, I guess, a kind of hard to find OPI polish. These are not quite dupes. Yank My Doodle comes off considerably brighter and a little less like on the rusty side than Ginger Bells does, but they are kind of close. Since this one is so hard to find, normally I would say like they're not dupes at all, but because this one is so hard to find for a lot of people, Yank My Doodle might be a decent alternative. The next one that I have is CIA Color is Awesome, which is a dark teal color from the OPI Washington DC collection. I have Essie's Go Overboard here, which is a little bit lighter, but not a ton lighter. I don't think you'd really be able to tell the difference too much. I mean, obviously you can tell the difference when they're right next to each other, but as far as needing to own both of them, I really don't think you need both. So next I have these 3 color shifting kind of duochrome glitter in black bases. So the one from this year is China Glaze Teen Spirit from their fall collection this year. And then I have Cosmo with a Twist from OPI, which is very, very similar. I do feel like the color shifting shimmer stands out a bit more in the OPI. And then I also have Hot Tub from Essie. This one has totally different color shifting shimmer. This one shifts to different colors than the other 2 do. So I wouldn't say the Essie is quite comparable. I think Cosmo with a Twist is really a good alternative for Teen Spirit because I do like how the shimmer stands out better in Cosmo with a Twist. So if you already have this one, I think it's from last year's holiday collection, you probably don't need the China Glaze. So next I have Mansion Lane from the Orally fall collection, and then I have Politically Polished from the OPI fall collection. Politically Polished really doesn't match up with these, but I compared them to Sephora by OPI's Metro Chic, which was really popular back in its day. Mansion Lane is definitely the lightest. Metro Chic is a little bit darker, but doesn't lean quite as gray as Mansion Lane does. And then Politically Polished is on a whole nother level. It actually looks like it's the same tone as Metro Chic, but it's considerably darker. So next I have Blue Ya from the China Glaze fall collection this year. This is a kind of dark blue jelly base with a bunch of gold, it's like green to gold shifting glitter. This is very similar to Zoya's Remy. The shimmer in Remy stands out considerably more gold than Blue Ya does. I think the base in this one, in the China Glaze, is so much darker that it makes the shimmer look much more blue than it does in the Zoya. They look really, really similar in the bottle because some of that shimmer sticks to the side of the bottle and the color stands out better than it would once you actually paint it on the nail. So I think these are close, but not so close that you couldn't justify having both. And finally, we have Zoya's Troy, which is a kind of gunmetal metallic from their fall collection this year. And then No More Mr. Night Sky from OPI. So these look really similar on the nail, but Troy was totally opaque in 2 coats, and No More Mr. Night Sky still looked kind of sheer to me even after 3. So the color is pretty similar, but if you have this one and you want something with a little bit more coverage, I would get Troy. So those are my fall collection dupes for the mainstream fall collections anyway for this year. If I didn't mention a specific polish, it's because I couldn't find a dupe for it in my own collection. That doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have a dupe for it or that there isn't a dupe for it. It's just that through searching and searching, I couldn't find anything. It's very possible that either I overlooked it or I just don't have it. And I'm sure there are dupes for a lot of the other ones as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope it was helpful, and I will talk to you later.